Okay, so we have another reaction video from Swagkage. This one is centered around a character that if you are someone who was in the Naruto fandom for a long, long time as I have, then you should know that there is one character that has garnered so much hate from the fandom that it almost kind of became a meme. Like it almost became a meme how much people just hate, and I mean hate this character. Now, I got to be honest, if again, just 100% being 100% crystal clear here. I do not hate this character so much. I do not hate Sakura. Okay, I mean I'm not gonna say that I'm a big fan of her character, but at the same time I don't hate her. I do get why people don't like her, but me personally, I've never hated her. As much as a lot of people have in the Naruto fandom. Now there are certain moments where she did just outright piss me off, but never enough to make me go just oh man I really hate this character. But I do want to watch this video from Swagkage called Why People Hate Soccer So Much. And I'm curious to hear what his reasons are as to why there are people who do not like this character, to hopefully explain to people who maybe not understand why there are so many people in the fandom who do not like her. So, with that said and out of the way, let's go ahead and watch the video. Let me full screen as always, lower the volume, and play.
So after I posted the video talking about the 5 characters in Naruto that I liked the least,
And just so you know, we're going to be watching this video next, so look out for that one.
a whole lot of people responded by asking why Sakura wasn't present on the list, or just simply by voicing their hatred for Sakura in the comments below. Many people also just asked me for my genuine opinion about the character, and I figured that because of how frequently she's been being mentioned in my comments, I might as well make a video about her. Now let me preface this discussion by saying that I don't hate Sakura,
Yeah.
and this video
Me neither. I don't hate the character at all.
attack or defend her character.
Mhm.
In all honesty, I'm pretty indifferent towards Sakura, but I can definitely see why some
That's pretty much where I am with
going to
Sakura.
do
I'm
my
just
best to look at her
like,
objectively
okay,
and analyze the aspects
I don't
of
like her, I don't hate her, I
that
just,
think
I
people
don't really
aren't
care about the
really
character
all
that much.
fond of. In other words, I'm going to be doing my best to explain why most people don't like Sakura that much, even if I don't have too many problems with her. I think the best place to start would be the part of her character that is most frequently mentioned by the members of the fan base, and that is the fact that she is pretty worthless as a ninja, at least when compared to Naruto, Sasuke,
Yeah,
and Kakashi. Granted, Sakura is by no means the most
no,
useless
no, she's not. Not even close.
Not even close.
No.
Heck, she's not even the weakest among the 9.
No, no.
Kiba, Ino, Tenten, and arguably
If you-
Hinata as well are all less
Well, I mean, Hinata, you could say like she. Well, I won't say like okay. If you were to put Sakura against Hinata, I will say that both of them can put up a fight. But if I'm being honest, I mean, I can't see the fight going either way, but I would have to give this fight to Sakura. I just think, like, again, her the Byakugo seal, the amp that she gets just from that alone, I feel like would give her the edge over Hinata. Again, this isn't to downplay Hinata. She is powerful on her own, but yeah, I would have to give it to Sakura. But yeah, no, I agree with him completely. Sakura is by no means the most useless character. It's just that again, a lot of people have pointed this out. It's just, she is supposed to be a main character. She's supposed to be up there with Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi. And the problem is when you compare her to them, she's not even close to being as useful as they are. It's just that's just a fact. And Naruto and Sasuke you can kind of understand because they're sort of like the main protagonists of the story. Like Kishimoto did when Shippuden started. Kishimoto did shift the focus over to those two specifically, so you can kind of understand that. But still, like it did kind of suck that he like again. This has been a problem with Kishimoto's writing for a long time. Like ever since Shippuden started, I would say like you started noticing this problem. Like he usually tends to focus the story on specific characters, and a lot of the times he will leave the other characters just completely in the dust. And that was honestly what a lot of people had issues with. Like one of the issues people had with Shippuden was the fact that the other characters felt like they were just completely left in the dust. Like they didn't really do anything, if you think about it, other than maybe Shikamaru. He like I can't really think of anything any of the other characters did, and that's including Sakura. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what about the Sasori fight? I mean, if you go back and look at that fight, like Granny Chio sort of did most of the work in that fight. Sakura didn't really do much.
Valuable on the battlefield than Sakura is. And you might even be able to make the same argument about Kankuro, Shino, and maybe if you stretch it a little bit, Tamari and Shikamaru. But the main reason
Shikamaru, yes, but Tamari,
okay,
okay.
of the cast is the fact that she, unlike all of the people I just mentioned, is a main
Right,
character. As
she's a
result,
main
people tend to
character.
compare her to Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi more frequently than they do to any of the support characters. On top of that, Sakura is placed in many important situations where she practically does nothing to contribute, which is made even more apparent by the fact that she's constantly talking about how much more powerful she's gotten, how she doesn't want to remain a liability, and how she wants to be able to walk in front of Naruto and Sasuke, despite the fact that she is never at any point in the series even close to being half of the shinobi that either one of them is.
No.
Even if you don't compare her to Naruto, Sasuke, or Kakashi, the amount that she manages to accomplish in the screen time that she has is pretty negligible when compared in equal proportion to the amount that some of the support characters have managed to accomplish in the comparatively tiny amounts of screen time that they have had. This is, of course, at its worst in part 1, where Sakura accomplishes absolutely nothing, while all of her classmates shine and
she did
outperform her to
nothing,
a
literally
ridiculous,
nothing in all of
almost
part 1
sad degree. Naruto and Sasuke
of Naruto.
contribute a little bit in the Land of Waves, while Sakura just sort of stands there and does nothing. Naruto and Sasuke do almost all of the work that gets the group through the Forest of Death, and though Sakura tries to stand up and protect the two of them while they're unconscious...
If there's one thing that I just want to talk about this for a second, and this mostly has to do with the picture that he has right here. This is one thing that I have to admit I do kind of liked about part 1, especially the manga, and I'm talking specifically about the manga here. I always hated the fact that the art styles shift, or the actual look of the comic shifted so much from where it was in the, I guess you see, the first half of part 1. And then, like, I started to notice that you start to notice this as you get closer to the, I guess you call it the Sasuke retrieval arc. Like, when that started, and then into Shippuden, especially the later parts of Shippuden, like, the art was nowhere near as close to being as good as this. Like, I dare you to find me, not that the art was bad, don't get me wrong, the art was never bad, like, it was still good. But I dare you to find me a single panel, and I know this is a double page spread, but I dare you to find me just, even in some of the, like, single pages, like, there was art that was just, like, it felt so dynamic, but later it just felt so stiff, if that's even the right word for it. But sorry, I just wanted to bring that up because it just brought up the image.
Dosu and Orochimaru's other genin make her look pathetic just moments before Sasuke wakes up and wipes the floor with them with no difficulty whatsoever. This is, of course, not even mentioning that she's saved by 4 other support characters in the meantime, all of whom
people from the other team had to come in and save her ass.
Then her battle with Ino in the tuning exams is, I mean, it's without a doubt the
oh, dude, that fight was horrible.
Naruto and Sasuke both managed to make it to the tuning exam final rounds, and Sakura can't even manage to beat the weakest person in the room, that being, of course, her opponent, Ino. The battle between the two ends in a draw, which is hilarious because if either Sakura or Ino had been matched up against any other person in the room, be it Hinata,
oh yeah,
Raku,
dude, they would have, they'd be
they'd
be dead, pretty much.
They would have been massacred. Then
absolutely.
Very shortly after this, Sasuke learns the Chidori and manages to copy Rock Lee's natural taijutsu speed, while Naruto learns the summoning jutsu along with how to tap into the chakra of the nine-tailed fox, both of which he later uses to defeat
which,
Gaara,
interestingly enough, we never really see Naruto do that until, like, after the pain arc. Like, I don't know why, but it seems like he just completely forgot to, he forgot that he had that ability.
In the search for Tsunade arc, so I can't find fault with her there. But in the Sasuke retrieval arc, after begging Naruto to bring Sasuke back to the village, completely disregarding how horribly she treated him in the past, with tears rolling down her face, just how worthless she is put into perspective, even without considering what Naruto and Sasuke managed to accomplish in this arc, by Choji, Neji, Shikamaru, and Kiba, and furthermore by Rock Lee, Temari, Kankuro, and Gaara, who all managed to defeat some of Orochimaru's elite henchmen that, when working together together were capable of taking out two of the fourth Hokage's elite honor guards. This is,
Yep.
of course, without mentioning all of the stuff that these same support characters had pulled off earlier in the series. Rock Lee versus Gaara is one of the most memorable fights in the series.
Still, to this
Shikamaru
day, it's
completely
considered by so many people to be the best fight in the
Shino
entire
manages to
series.
keep Kankuro held at bay so Sasuke can pursue Gaara and Tamari, that sort of thing. All while Sakura accomplishes nothing. Granted, in Shippuden, she does show quite a bit more potential. After training with Tsunade, she manages to master her talent for chakra control, which gives her
Yeah.
access to the same ridiculous level of strength that Tsunade possesses, along with incredibly effective medical ninjutsu. At the beginning of Shippuden, she actually seems like she's going to
Yeah,
use
it
quite
seemed
a
like
bit.
she was
She
finally
even
going to do
helps
something.
Shino take out Sasori, an
Yeah,
S-class
and
member
this
of
is-
the Akatsuki, and one who destroyed Kankuro with no difficulty whatsoever. He's also the partner of the same guy who took out Kazekage Gaara, so the fact that she and Chio were able to take Sasori out is pretty impressive. After this,
Although,
however,
again, I
she
would
sort of
say
reverts back to her
you
part
have to
one
admit,
self.
Granny
She
Chio
accomplishes
did
nothing
the
with
most
her
work in that
She
fight.
seems to be going
Let's just be
strong at the
honest.
beginning of the Orochimaru arc. But as soon as she meets Sasuke, everything goes straight downhill. She pretty much
Oh,
does
yeah,
nothing
every-
with
everything
Rock
after
Lee
here
for
just
the rest of the series. All
terrible.
while the numerous support characters make incredible use of what little screen time they have. Shikamaru defeats Hidan, an immortal member of the Akatsuki, nearly by himself. Suigetsu, Jugo, and even Karin show themselves to be useful, as they help Sasuke locate Itachi and later assist him in his assault on the 5 Kage summit.
Yeah.
Pretty much every member of the Hidden Leaf Village, with the exception of Team Guy, manages to make a pretty solid contribution in the attack on Konoha. Heck, even Konohamaru manages to defeat one of the Paths of Pain.
Oh, yeah,
while
he
Sakura
did.
is left crying and screaming for Naruto to come back home so he can
Oh,
defeat
dude,
him,
this
despite
was-
the fact that she refuses to lift a finger herself against him. Then, after having the nerve to scream at the sky for Naruto to come back home, again, without making any effort
She
to
didn't
fight against
even
Pain herself,
try.
Hinata
Hinata took on the
into the battle
diva
between
path
Naruto and
of
Pain in order to save his life,
the six
nearly at the cost
paths,
of
which
her
is,
own,
you
and
could say,
still,
arguably the most
Sakura
powerful
does
one.
nothing. There were plenty of other medical
Excuse me.
ninjas in the Hidden Leaf Village at the time of Pain's invasion
Right.
that could have healed the injured present in the village. But there weren't a whole lot of medical ninja in the village, with access to the strength of 100 seal, which Sakura would have activated here if she wasn't a total wimp, so she could at least buy time for everybody while she waited for Naruto to arrive. But of course, she doesn't do that.
Like,
Shoji
it's
manages
just-
to take on the Ghetto Mazo
I
in
mean-
the war arc. Rock Lee
Oh.
kicks Madara in half. Might Guy opens the 8th gate and goes toe-to-toe with Madara, and a whole bunch of other support characters from the series just make humongous.
Here's the thing. You want to know what's funny? I can't remember how many times I've read this. I know this is a weird place to pause. I don't know how many times I've read the manga, but this is the first time I even noticed this. That says Kai on Kaijutsu.
Humongous
God damn
contributions
it.
in what little screen time they have. Again, while Sakura does nothing except for help defeat Sasori, heal people with her medical ninjutsu, help keep Naruto alive after the Nine Tails is extracted, and punch Kaguya in the back of the head. And this is without comparing her accomplishments to those of Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto takes on Orochimaru,
Yep.
the same guy that killed the third Hokage, one-on-one with the power of the Nine Tails, before killing Kakuzu with the Rasen Shuriken
Yep,
pretty much
he did.
by himself, though he did admittedly have
No, he had a lot of help.
Kakashi, Shikamaru, and the rest of Team Asuma. But Naruto also defeats Pain, again,
Yeah.
pretty much by himself, while
Well,
Sasuke,
Although again, you gotta admit, like, if the Nine Tails hadn't shown up, or if Hinata hadn't gotten involved and gotten injured, which caused Naruto to lose his shit and awaken the Nine Tails, you gotta admit, like, Naruto pretty much lost that fight. Like, yeah, he with Sage Mode he was able to take out a lot the 5 of the 6 paths of pain, but at the end of it, you gotta say the win went to Pain. Like, even like again, that on its own should tell you just how dangerous the Rinnegan is. Like, even someone who had mastered Sage Mode, which was hyped up to make someone incredibly powerful, and especially if it was someone who, like Naruto, who is, you could say, better than the average shinobi, and yet Pain technically still won that fight. If no one else hadn't gotten involved, that's it. Naruto would have lost. Let's just be honest here. And if other people hadn't done the work of finding out what some of Pain's weaknesses, especially when it comes to the Deva Path's power and how you have to the waiting period between each use, if other people hadn't found that out for him, then yeah, Naruto would have lost easy. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just a fact.
Sasuke's accomplishments speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Sasuke single-handedly wiped out all of Team 7
He did.
while barely trying, effectively killed Orochimaru, killed Deidara, and even...
Although again, just to be fair, like even Sasuke himself acknowledges like Orochimaru was already weakened when he took him on, so even he acknowledged that Orochimaru wasn't at his best when he fought him.
managed to impress Itachi with a jutsu he developed himself, that being Kirin. Sasuke
And he
then goes on to fight a perfect...
And he never used that ability again. I mean, I know in the anime he used it in his fight with Naruto, but you gotta remember that wasn't in the manga. So yeah, in the manga, it's like Kishimoto completely forgot that Sasuke had this ability. It's just, like that. That's just. I'm not gonna get into it. Maybe I'll save that for a video on its own. Like one of the biggest problems with Kishimoto's writing when it comes to Naruto is that, just to give you a bit of an example, like he has this tendency to give characters these abilities and then just completely forget that they have them. Like, for example, we saw, just to give you an example, like, again, this is the biggest example, the fact that he had Kirin and then we never see him use it again. But, like, remember when he took on Team 7, Sasuke used the Sharingan to seal away the chakra of the Nine Tails. And yet we never see him use that ability again. Like, I don't know if, like, after Naruto and Kurama became friends and then Naruto had complete access to the Nine Tails power, I don't know if maybe that just completely limited it, but then again, he was able to put B under a Genjutsu, and it wasn't, like, if Gyuki didn't get involved, he would have stayed in that Genjutsu. So, I don't know, it's just, to me, it always seemed weird that he never used that ability ever again, so...
Jinchuriki, Killer B, admittedly with the help of Taka, but he still did far better than Sakura ever could have dreamed.
And you got to remember, B was not an easy opponent. B was considered to be a perfect Jinchuriki. So the fact that he was able to survive against him, that should tell you just how impressive. Again, he had Taka's help, but still.
Dreamed of doing against B before assaulting the 5 Kage summit, barreling through 3 Kage and surviving, killing Danzo, nearly killing Sakura with one attack, fighting Kakashi, and taking part in a brief exchange with Naruto. Then Naruto and Sasuke's accomplishments in the war, I mean, those are ludicrous. There's no way Sakura
no, not even close. Not especially after they got power from the Sage of Six Paths. Yeah, no, just absolutely not.
To compare her to Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi than it is to compare her to Naruto's supporting cast. Additionally, the scope of some of the stuff she attempts to do just to prove that she actually is indeed useful, which serves no purpose other than to satisfy her own ego, is far too massive for somebody with her capabilities. She always aims too high and still expects the best outcome. Like, for example, when she tried to kill Sasuke after knocking out all of her teammates so they couldn't...
Dude, that was pretty damn dumb.
On people like Madara, the Ten Tails, and Obito by herself. Again, just for the sake of satisfying her own ego. That sort of thing serves no purpose otherwise, and she would have been much better suited to filling a support role in all of these instances, but just because she's stupid and selfish, she had to take things into her own hands and prove that she could take care of these things on her own, despite the fact that she can't. Setting her abilities or lack thereof.
Dude, the fact that she thought that she could take on Madara after getting both his Rinnegan back, like, dude, that was, come on. Even Naruto and Sasuke wouldn't have been able to beat the guy.
Sakura's obsession with Sasuke is really annoying, and I'm
sure
everyone will agree with me on that. I get
it. See, this, to me, that was honestly my biggest problem with Sakura's character, whereas, like, it almost seemed unnatural how obsessed she was with this guy. It's just, like, yeah, no, it was just... like I didn't like it. I'm pretty sure most people would agree with me on that.
Love, she can't help it, but she is a ninja, so you'd expect her to be able to set these feelings aside, but no. Even to save her own life, she can't do it. As soon as she lays eyes on Sasuke in Shippuden for the first time, that becomes all she thinks about. Despite the fact that Sasuke has tried to kill her multiple times, every time she doesn't get his attention, she begins to pout and throw a little fit just because she's so upset that her Sasuke queen won't love her back.
Why does Sasuke love me?
by the fact
Ugh,
that it is
God,
likely
it was so
very
stupid.
superficial, because I know without a doubt, if she didn't think Sasuke was attractive, she
Yeah.
would not have the slightest amount of feelings for him.
Like,
Case in
what-
point, the way she reacted
You
to
don't
Rock
even
Lee
know
after
this
first
guy.
seeing him. She didn't even know what
I
kind
mean,
of person
when
Rock
they were
Lee
young,
was.
I
She
get it,
avoided
but
him
you
like
would
the
think that
plague
after
just
they
because
grew up,
he
she
was
would have
ugly
realized, like,
and
you know,
finally,
I
because
don't
she
even
thinks
know anything
Sasuke
about this
is
guy.
Really, really hot and really, really cool. She lets that issue sit at the forefront of her mind.
Dude,
even
Lee's
in
awesome.
situations where
Lee's
it
awesome.
has
Lee's one of the
no
best
place
characters.
there. Like,
Or at
for
least he's one of my
instance,
favorites.
when she tried to kill Sasuke at
Mhm.
the Five Kage Summit, but second-guessed herself because she still loved him, despite the fact that Naruto has saved her life countless times, and Sasuke has
All
tried
true.
to end it a handful of times.
And
On
she
the other
still
hand,
sometimes
Naruto has
treats him
done
like
nothing
shit.
but help her and has saved her home
Not
on
so much
multiple
now,
occasions,
thankfully,
while
since they've
Sasuke,
grown
I mean,
up.
he's a criminal and a rogue ninja, but just because Sakura really wants his wee-wee, she can't move on from him or look at any other potential options. She risks the safety of the entire ninja world just on the off chance that maybe Sasuke will say, hey, alright Sakura, I love you too. Then,
Yeah,
in
come
the
on.
final battle against Madara and Kaguya,
Get over here.
Sakura noticed that Sasuke couldn't care less about her because,
Because,
you know, the world was
yeah,
about
the
to end.
world
She
was
got all
about to end.
upset
I
and
think
again started to pout. And finally, when
you would think
Sasuke
that she would
explained
understand
his
why
plan to
his
start a
focus was
worldwide
on
revolution
something that
instead
wasn't
of
her.
going up to him and smacking him in the face like a likable
Not that she
character
could,
would,
but-
she just burst into tears and begged him to love her. And somehow she still ended up with him. I don't... Whatever, man. Then there's the fact that she treated Naruto so horribly
Oh,
for so
yeah.
long. And despite how nice he was to her, she had the nerve to lie to him.
I
make
honestly
him think that she
never
was in love with him. Risk
under-
crushing his heart just so that he wouldn't get
Oh,
mad at
this
her
was
and try
some
to stop her from
bullshit.
killing Sasuke, which she failed to do anyway because she was too afraid. I mean, I guess, long story short, TLDR, she doesn't contribute much, at least not when compared to Naruto's other main characters and even its supporting cast. And she's also just, like, really annoying and has a pretty dumb obsession with Sasuke. For anybody who does hate Sakura, tell me if I hit the nail on the head here or if
I
there's
mean-
anything I missed or got wrong. And if there's anybody watching right now who does like Sakura, let me know why in the comments below. And until
Yeah,
the next
it's-
video, I'll talk to you later. Swagkage out. Bye.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, dude, he raised a lot of very valid points when it comes to Sakura's character or some of the elements of her character and why so many people not like her. But yeah, I mean, look, like I said, I'm completely indifferent to Sakura's character. Not that there aren't things about her character that do annoy me. And it's just like the thing that honestly pisses me off the most is that she could have been a really good character. It's just, you know, when it comes to the whole obsession with Sasuke, I mean, I would have accepted it when they were young. Like, okay, it's this schoolgirl crush, okay, but honestly, after the time skip, the second Shippuden starts, you would think that maybe Kishimoto would show that she's grown up. I mean, okay, you can still say that she, at the very least, cares about Sasuke as a person, as a friend, but like she's gotten over that insane obsession, like over him. And in all honesty, that does kind of extend to Naruto too. Like again, that was the one thing that a lot of people found really annoying when it comes to Naruto and Sakura, is that they were both so obsessed with Sasuke. It's just, I mean, it's just, I get what Kishimoto was trying to do with Naruto. I get it. He wanted to, he wanted Naruto to be that guy who never gives up on that one friend who, like, they notice that they're going down a really bad path and they just want to try to wake them up. I get that, but you would think that after certain things have happened, you would think that after Sasuke has tried to actually kill him, no joke, actually tried to kill him multiple times, you would think that Naruto would go, you know what, it sucks that I have to do this, but maybe I just had to accept the fact that there's just no saving this guy, because he himself looks like he doesn't even want to be saved. I don't know. It's just, to me, I always found that part of the story of Naruto to be, like, I never really connected to it, I guess you could say, if that's even the right way to put it. It was always, I guess I should say, it was always the least interesting part of the story to me. Like, I always loved everything else, the lore, the world building, not everything, but Yeah, that one aspect of just Naruto and Sakura being so obsessed with Sasuke is just, mm, it's just I never got that. I was never able to connect with that. But yeah, anyway, and when it comes to everything else, her, he did raise some good points. She's not the worst character. She's definitely, or I guess I should say she's the not the most useless character, if that makes sense. She is, like, she's nowhere near able to contribute. She's nowhere near being able to contribute as much as Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi, especially during the war arc when they were fighting Madara and then Kaguya. Unfortunately, I just, yeah, it's just, again, when you compare her to other characters, you can see, oh no, she's definitely still has her uses, but when you compare her to the main characters, because that's what she's supposed to be, a main character, and yet when you actually look back in the series, you have to ask yourself, what the hell did Sakura accomplish? Like, seriously, what the hell did she do? I mean, it's just, it's insane. But anyway, I'm just gonna end this video right here, guys. If you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. Consider leaving a like, share the video, and please consider subscribing if you're new here. It'll really help support this channel. It'll help me with the algorithm, and also remember to click on the bell icon should you ever want to know whenever a new video goes up or whenever I go live. And also let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And also, if you have your own video that you want me to react to, especially when it comes to anime and manga, because I want to start covering more anime and manga content on this channel. So if you have your own video, again, link it in the comment section down below. And if you notice that is disappearing, keep trying. I don't know what the hell is going on with YouTube. I don't know why it seems like they're deleting comments that have links to other videos. At least in my comments, I've seen other videos in the comment section. People leave links to videos, and it seems like nothing happens to those videos, or nothing happens to those links. Like, those stay there, and yet mine get deleted. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but just keep trying. And also, if you want to support the channel in another way, there is a donation link in the description box. If you want to follow it, consider checking it out. Again, it's completely optional. If you can't, that is absolutely fine, absolutely understandable. Just watching and liking the video is going to do enough, more than enough actually. But if you want to support the channel that way, and if you have a video that you want to have me react to as soon as possible, just follow the link down below, and you'll know what to do from there. So I'm gonna end this video right here. Thank you so much for watching, and please consider joining me for the next reaction. Bye for now.